pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you, must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. And I'll be here in sunlight or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com, and in this week's ukulele lesson, Katie's going to be teaching you how to play Danny Boy. So this is actually one of my favorite Irish tunes, just because it has a beautiful melody. But what's really cool about this arrangement is that Katie wrote it in 3 different sections. So each section is 8 bars in length, and the first section starts out as a chord melody played up high on the neck, so around the 7th fret. And what's really cool is that when you go into the next section, it's going to move down to the beginning of the neck and go into a finger picking part that adds the vocal on top of it. So when you do that, what it does is it creates movement. So think of a story. Anytime you hear a story, it always has a beginning, middle, and end. So when we have movement that starts up here and ends down here, it feels like the piece is flowing and it's not staying stagnant. It's a really, really cool way to write this. So I really dig her arrangement. Now, when you get into that vocal part, it's all finger picking. So the second and the third section, so the last 16 bars of the tune, is all finger picking. So really great practice if you've been wanting to work on some more dexterity playing with vocal on top of it instead of just strumming, and singing. So with that in mind, if you want to get the assets that accompany this lesson, you can click this link right here or go to the site rockclass101.com and do a search for Danny Boy. Now on that page, you'll be able to download the lyrics plus the chord sheet 100% free. All you have to do is sign up for basic membership to be able to do that, which is, again, 100% free. And if you're a premium member, you'll be able to download the tablature as well as access the on-screen tab viewer. Now this is a really cool feature where you can hit play, watch the tab scroll across in real time. You can highlight bars to loop sections, slow it down to any speed you wish. Just a really great asset in learning this song that much easier. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Katie now to teach you how to play this tune, and then I'll see you at the end of the video.
Hey everyone, I'm Katie, and today we're going to learn a version of Danny Boy. Now before we get into the tutorial, there's a couple of things that I want to mention. 1, when I'm teaching the piece, my uke is parallel to the floor, like this. But if I'm performing or playing, the neck is up at a 45-degree angle. It's going to be a lot easier to access the upper part of the fretboard right here if your uke neck is up this way. Okay. Second is that I'm going to keep my wrist straight while I'm finger picking. I'm actually going to be using my thumb a lot, and so I take the rest of my hand and I just bring it underneath this part of the body of the uke as I'm strumming this way. And when I'm finger picking, I actually assign 1 finger per string, so thumb, pointer, middle is going to be assigned to the C, E, and the A string, like that. And I keep my wrist relatively straight. If you keep your wrist like this, or if you bend it a little bit, you're not going to have the full range of motion that you need in order to finger pick, and it's going to be rather painful. So try to keep your wrist straight and relaxed as you finger pick. So let's get into the tutorial. First, let's start with the pickup to measure 2. Finger number 1 will be placed on the 7th fret of the E string. Then finger number 2, 8th fret of the same string, the E string. And then you could use finger number 3 if you'd like to, or finger number 4 for the 10th fret of the E string. Like that. Now we're going to find a G shape. So instead of here on the 2nd and 3rd fret, we are going to slide this shape all the way up to the 7th and the 8th fret. So we have 7, 7, 8. That is a C variation. So instead of here, we have this. So let's try that pickup. 7, 8, 10, C variation. Now from here, I like to take finger number 4 to reach for the 10th fret of the E string, because then when I play that C variation again, I'm already in position. So let's try that pickup. There's my C variation, 10th fret, and then I strum that C variation again. From here, I'm going to take finger number 4, I'm going to reach all the way up to the 12th fret of the A string, then the 10th fret of the A string, then the 7th fret of the A string. So the fingers that I'm using are 4, 3, 1, like that. 4, 3, 1 on 12, 10, 7. For the next part, I'm going to take my focus fox, fingers 2 and 3, and I'm going to place those on the 10th and the 9th fret right here. Now you could strum, or you could pluck those two if you'd like, whatever works. And then I'm going to take finger number 1, place that on the 8th fret of the E string, lift off finger number 3. I'm going to pluck the E string, and then I'm going to pluck the C string. So you see I've kept that finger there as my placeholder. It just helps a lot, because if you take your fingers off of the fretboard completely, you might lose your spot. It just helps to keep it in place. So let's try that. We have 9 and 10, 8, 9. So let's try that part slowly. 7, 8, 10, C variation, 10th fret, C variation again, 12, 10, 7, focus fox. So now we have the from Glen to Glen. I'm going to take finger number 2 and place that on the 8th fret of the E string. The reason why I want that is because finger number 1 needs to be free for the 7th fret of the A string. And then finger number 2, 8th fret of the A string. So we have 8, 7, 8, and then we find that C variation like this, like we did before at the beginning. But now we're going to take finger number 4 and place that on the 10th fret of the A string, like that. So do you hear that melody line? Except I'm playing the chord instead. Now from here, finger number 4 reaches to the 12th fret of the A string. Now finger number 3, 10th fret, and then finger number 1, 7th fret. Finger 2, 8th fret, and you see how I've kept finger number 1 on the 7th fret of the A string? Because I'm just going to be going right back to that string again, so I'm just holding it down. So let's try that from Glen to Glen. 8, 7, 8. Now we have that shape with finger number 4 on the 10th fret. Now 12, 10, 7, 8, 7. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to take that same focus fox that we did before, but instead of this way, we're going to move our fingers this way. So what I've done is that I've made a mini chord shape, but I'm not going to be playing that A string. So now we are on the 11th fret right here and the 10th fret right here. I'm going to play that open G string and the C string and the E string. Now from here, I'm going to make a mini 7th shape here. I don't necessarily have to bar the whole thing unless you'd like to, but I'm going to bar just these 3 strings with finger number 1 on the 7th fret. And then from here, finger number 2, 8th fret of the A string. I'm going to play an arpeggio. So my thumb is going to pluck the C string, finger number 1 plucks the E string, and then finger number 2 plucks the A string. And then I strum. So let's try that from Glen to Glen. Pinky on the 10th fret. 12. And then we form that mini chord shape. Arpeggio. Let's try the first part of the verse together. There are 2 play-alongs. One is going to be in slow motion and the second will be a tempo or in real time. The next part should look familiar because it's the very same thing that we played at the very beginning of the piece. So we have 7, 8, 10, C shape, 10th fret, 12, 10, 7. Now here we have that focus fox again. 8, 9. Now we have it's you must go and I must bide. Finger number 1 is already on the 8th fret, so I'm going to pluck that twice. Finger number 3 on the 10th fret of the same string. Now find that C variation. Okay, now here I like to take finger number 2, place that on the 8th fret of the A string, pluck that. Now I'm going to bar these 3 strings across the 7th fret, and I'm going to strum all of them. Now from here, I like to bar. I like to keep this here. If you don't like that, no worries. I'm going to show you a different way in a little bit. And I like to take my pinky, or finger number 4, place that on the 10th fret of the E string, and then finger number 2 on the 8th fret of the same string. Then from here, I'm already in position to be able to strum those 2. So I have 7th fret, pinky, and then I'm already going to plant finger number 2 right here. Let's try that together. 8 to 10. C variation. 8th fret, bar. 10th fret. Now from here, I am going to find a C chord on the 3rd fret of the A string, and I'm going to assign each finger a string. So thumb is going to be assigned the C string, pointer finger or finger number 1 is going to be assigned the E string, and finger number 3 is going to be assigned the A string. And first I'm going to pluck the C string with my thumb, then my pointer finger, and then the A string with finger number 2 on my right hand. So I have thumb, pointer, middle, and then I'm going to strum to end that phrase. Let's try the second part of the verse. The first part is in slow motion and the second in real time. So the second half of the finger picking is going to be on the lower part of the neck rather than the upper part of the neck, and you'll start to hear melody variations come out. So I just ended the first half with the C chord, arpeggio. Now from here, I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to assign it right here to the C string. Finger number 1 will be assigned to the E string, and finger number 2 will be assigned to the A string. This is going to be very important for this next finger picking part. So first I'm going to pluck the open C string twice with my thumb, and then finger number 2 is going to be placed on the 2nd fret of the C string. Open, open, 2nd fret. Do you hear the melody? Oh, Danny. Now I find a C chord, and then I'm going to take fingers 1 and 2 on my right hand, and I'm going to pluck the E and the A string at the same time. Then my thumb is going to pluck the C string. So we're going to alternate between the fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. And that's going to reappear a lot in the rest of this piece. So first we have our C chord. Now here I have thumb, pointer, middle, thumb. So a little arpeggio there. So we have thumb, pointer, middle, thumb. So let's try that from the O Danny Boy. So we have C string, open, open. 2nd fret, C chord. Fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, arpeggio, thumb. Now from here, find an F chord. You could use the truncated version like this, or you could use the full version just in case you're afraid you have a rogue finger. You might hit that G string. Totally fine. I'm going to use the truncated version. So here, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers. Now I'm going to play the open C string, open E string, then finger number 1 is going to be placed on the first fret of the E string. So you hear from Glen to Glen, from Glen to. Now from here, I'm going to take my focus fox. So that's going to be on the 3rd fret of the A and the E string. And I'm going to pluck them together. Now from here, I am going to pluck them again and slide to the 5th fret. So I pluck them, and I pluck them again. I slide back down to the 3rd fret. So I have 3, pluck again, slide, back down. Now we have a C chord. Now I find a D minor. So I have 1, 2, 2. I'm going to strum that chord once, and then I'm going to pluck an arpeggio. So C, E, A string, and then I find a G7. Now if you notice, do you see how finger number 1 was the anchor for that chord? It's going to remain on the 1st fret, and then fingers 2 and 3 will move to the 2nd fret here of the A, the C string. So D minor, arpeggio, and then G7. So let's start from the very beginning of part number 2. Open C string, 2nd fret, C chord, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, arpeggio, thumb, F chord, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, open, open 1st fret, 3rd fret, slide, C chord. Let's try the first part of the verse together. The first will be in slow motion, the second a tempo or real time. Now this next part should look very, very familiar. Why? Because you've played it before. So we've opened C string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, C chord, arpeggio, F chord. Now here it's just a little different. Open C string twice, 2nd fret of the C string. Now here I am just going to pluck the C and the E string open. So I'm not going to hold anything down, so I'm going to pluck those open strings. Then finger number 1 will be placed on the 1st fret of the E string. So it's you, pointer finger. Now you're already in position for a G7. Arpeggio, thumb, pointer, middle, then C chord, arpeggio again, thumb, pointer, middle, C chord. So let's try that section. We just ended the D minor, arpeggio, G7. So we've opened C string twice. C chord, arpeggio, F, open C string twice, 2nd fret, open strings, 1st fret, G7, arpeggio, C chord. That whole thing will sound like this. This next part is very similar to the previous one. So we have our C chord, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. Find an F chord, fingers, thumb, C chord, strum once, arpeggio, thumb pointer middle, C chord. A minor, you could actually place your finger right here in order to form the A minor chord just in case. If not, all strings will remain open. Fingers, thumb, F chord, fingers, thumb, and then we have a G7. So you see how our F chord is like this. Finger number 1 is on the 1st fret, and when we have our G7, we use finger number 1 as the anchor. Okay, so let's try that part. We have C, fingers, thumb, F chord, fingers, thumb, C chord strum, arpeggio. A minor, fingers, thumb, F, G7. This next part is my favorite part. I think you'll see why. So I'm going to take finger number 3 and I'm going to place that on the 3rd fret of the A string. I'm going to pluck the string and then slide it up to the 5th fret and then slide it back down to the 3rd fret. Like that. So I pluck, slide, then pluck again once I reach back to the 3rd fret. So slide, then open A string, 3rd fret of the E string. So it'll sound like this. Like that. So let's try that. C chord, F, C chord, arpeggio, A minor open, 1st fret, F, G7, slide, da, da, da. With But Come Ye Back, C chord, F, C chord, arpeggio, A minor open, 1st fret, F, G7, slide, da, da, da. Now you could use your thumb if you wanted to, or whatever finger is convenient for you. You can choose your own adventure there. Now to end it, we have our C chord, fingers, thumb, F chord. Now we have an A minor, strum, hold that for 2 counts, F, strum, hold it for 2 counts, C chord, fingers, thumb, G7, fingers, thumb, C chord, arpeggio, and strum a C chord to end it. So let's try that whole entire section together. But come ye back. 1, 2, 3, C chord. 1 and 2 and F chord, C chord, arpeggio, A minor, F, G7, C chord, F, A minor strum, F, strum, C chord pluck, G7, C chord, arpeggio, and then hold a C chord to end it. But come ye back. 1, 2, 3, C chord. 1 and 2 and F chord, C chord, arpeggio, A minor, F, G7, C chord, F, A minor strum, F, strum, C chord pluck, G7, C chord, arpeggio, and then hold a C chord to end it. So I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed learning this tune. A lot of fun. Really cool that it combines chord melody plus finger picking and singing. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So a lot of fun and a good challenge, especially for the intermediate player. Really good challenge for the intermediate player. So guys, I do want to remind you, if you do want to get the tabs to print off, keep for your records, that's available at this link, or you can go to rockclass101.com and do a search for Danny Boy. Don't forget that interactive tab player where you can highlight bars, loop sections, just a really great asset for learning this tune, was also on that page. All right, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Take care.